Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Monday, July 18, 2022. Today I'm going to recap the weekend's Major League Baseball, NBA Summer League, WNBA, and Major League Soccer games. We'll also go over the Open and NASCAR races from the weekend. I'll give out my pick for the Home Run Derby, and I'll do my news and notes. No best bet today. I think today's the only day of the year where we don't have a best bet because we have no games on tonight. But I will give out a pick for the Home Run Derby near the end of the show. All right, Major League Baseball is where we'll start. We'll go over the weekend's results and look ahead. Actually, no. What am I saying, look ahead? I literally just said no games. All right, so Friday. Phillies over the Marlins 2-1. Braves over the Nationals 8-4. Red Sox over the Yankees 5-4 in 11 innings. Blue Jays over the Royals 8-1, Rays over the Orioles 5-4, Guardians over the Tigers 6-5, Mariners over the Rangers 8-3, White Sox over the Twins 6-2, A's over the Astros 5-1, Cardinals over the Reds 7-3, Rockies over the Pirates 13-2, Dodgers over the Angels 9-1, Padres over the Diamondbacks 5-3, Giants over the Brewers 8-5, and Mets Cubs postponed makeup was the next day. Saturday, Twins over the White Sox 6-3, Cardinals over the Reds 11-3, Mets over the Cubs 2-11 in Game 1. Blue Jays over the Royals 6-5 and 10 on a walk-off single by Teoscar Hernandez. Rockies over the Pirates 2-0. Braves over the Nationals 6-3. Mariners over the Rangers in 10. Orioles over the Rays 6-4 and 11. Guardians over the Tigers 10-0. Astros over the Athletics 5-0. Phillies over the Marlins 10-0. Yankees over the Red Sox 14-1. Giants over the Brewers 2-1. Mets over the Cubs 4-3 and 10 in Game 2 of the doubleheader. Padres over the Diamondbacks 4-3 and the Dodgers over the Angels 7-1. Sunday, Blue Jays over the Royals 4-2, Nationals over the Braves 7-3, Yankees over the Red Sox 13-2, Rays over the Orioles 7-5, Phillies over the Marlins 4-0, White Sox over the Twins 11-0, Athletics over the Astros 4-3, Cubs over the Mets 3-2, Mariners over the Rangers 6-2 to win their 14th straight game. Amazing. Pirates over the Rockies 8-3, Giants over the Brewers 9-5, Diamondbacks over the Padres 3-1 and 2 postponed games. Tigers Guardians makeup date August 15th and Reds Cardinals makeup date September 17th. All right, now move on to the NBA Summer League. We'll go over how the Summer League finished out. So Friday, Clippers over the Jazz 82-65. Brandon Boston Jr. 22 points, 8 boards. Leonardo Bolmaro had 19 for Utah. 76ers over the Nuggets 97-71. Grant Riller 18 points and Christian Braun had 11, 6, and 6. Thunder over the Warriors 90-82. Jeremiah Robinson Earl had 15 and 14, and Jonathan Kuminga had 16 and 5 assists. Kings over the Suns 82-69. Keegan Murray 21 points, 10 boards, and Ish Wainwright had 13. Wizards over the Pacers 97-79. Jordan Schenkel 21 points, and Kendall Brown had 14. Raptors over the Heat 88-78. Delano Bonton had 18, and Kyle Allman Jr. had 17 and 4 assists. Lakers over the Pelicans 102-94. Lakers, Cole Swider had 21 and Jared Harper had 20. Saturday, Cavaliers over the Hawks 94-90. RJ Nembhard had 16 points and 6 assists. Tyrese Martin had 21 and 4 assists. Pistons over the Magic 102-86. Jules Bernard had 22 points and 9 boards, and Justin James had 18 and 5. Timberwolves over the Hornets 89-86. Kevon Harris had 23 points. JT Thor had 28. Spurs over the Grizzlies 90-87. Malachi Branham had 23 points, and Kenny Lofton Jr. had 27 points and 12 boards. Bulls over the 76ers 119-104. Marco Simonovic had 26 points and 8 boards. Charlie Brown Jr. had 21 with 4 assists. Nets over the Celtics 102-95. Cam Thomas 25.6 boards and 6 assists, and Juwan Bagarin had 25. Kings over the Rockets 92-81. Jariah Horn had 20 points and Tari Eason had 19. Lakers over the Mavericks 95-84. Cole Swider had 16 and AJ Lawson had 19. And the Heat over the Clippers 86-83. Kyle Allman Jr. had 26 and 6 assists, and Reggie Perry had 16 and 6 boards. Sunday, Raptors over the Bucks 80-69. Abu Kabag had 15 and 10 boards, and Lindell Wigington had 11. Suns over the Pacers 84-69. Lewis King had 14 points and 8 boards, and Jermaine Samuels had 8 points for Indy. Pelicans over the Thunder 107-71. John Butler 25 points, and Gabe Brown had 23. Wizards over the Warriors 87-77. Quentin Jackson had 18, and Mac McClung had 14 with 6 assists. Jazz over the Nuggets 82-72. Jared Butler 15.6 assists, and Adonis Arms had 20 points and 2 assists. And the final. In the final, they did it differently this year. They based it on point differential, and the Trailblazers come out on top 85-77 over the Knicks to win the 2022 Summer League Championship. This game was actually played first, and the rest of them were the latter games, but I think this game should have been played last because it was the championship game. Brandon Williams, 22 points, 5 assists, and Quentin Grimes had 19 points and 3 assists for the Knicks. So Summer League was fun. The Blazers win it. The Knicks probably were the best team of the Summer League, but the Blazers just, for some reason, owned them. All right, now we'll move on to the WNBA. We will recap the weekend's games. We won't have games until tomorrow. So, Friday, Lynx over Fever 87-77. The Lynx 10-16, Indy 5-21. Kayla McBride had 18, and Tiffany Mitchell had 18. Sun over the Dream 93-68. John Cole Jones 21.6 boards, and Tiffany Hayes had 18. Saturday, Sky over the Wings 89-81. The Sky 19-6, Dallas 11-14. Kalia Cooper 23 points, 14 boards, and Marina Mabry had 22 points and 3 assists. Sunday, Aces over the Sun 91-83. Kelsey Plum 22 points. Tawana Bonner had 19. Mystics over the Lynx 70-57. Elena Deladon 21 points, 10 boards, and Kayla McBride had 16. Dream over the Mercury 85-75. Cheyenne Parker 21 points, 12 boards, and Dinah Taurasi 23 points for Phoenix. And the Storm over the Fever 81-65. Brianna Stewart 25 points, 8 boards, and Alyssa Smith had 15 points and 9 boards. Again, no games until Tuesday. Now we'll move on to Major League Soccer. We will go over the results from the weekend. There are no games until Saturday the 23rd. Montreal over Toronto 1-0. Philadelphia over New England 2-1. Chicago over Seattle 1-0. Miami over Charlotte 3-2. Minnesota over DC United 2-0. Colorado over the LA Galaxy 2-0. Dallas Austin 1-1 draw. Sunday, Atlanta Orlando 1-1 draw. NYCFC over the Red Bulls 1-0 on the road. Columbus over Cincinnati 2-0. LAFC over Nashville 2-1. Salt Lake over Kansas City 3-0. Houston over San Jose 2-1, and Portland and Vancouver 1-1 draw. Again, no Major League Soccer until next weekend. We have a ton of games on Saturday. And we only have 2 games on Sunday. Where things stand right now, Philly's still in first in the East, 39 points, and LAFC first in the West with 42 points. And Austin's in second with 41 in the West. NYCFC now second in the East with 38 points. They've been playing well. They have the same goal differential as Philly and LAFC and Atlanta. I think that if you ask me who's the best of those teams, it's probably LAFC, if you ask me. And then I'd say NYCFC, but barely. Then Austin, then Philly. And I think Philly, their goal differential looks good because they had that 7-0 game at home a few weeks ago. So that's my take on soccer right now. But we'll see how things shake out in the latter half of the summer and into the fall. All right, now I'll move on to golf. The Open was this weekend. It was a fun tournament, and your winner with a score of 20 under was Cameron Smith. Coming in second with a score of 19 under was Cameron Young. Coming in third with a score of 18 under, Rory McIlroy. Tied for fourth with 14 under, Tommy Fleetwood and Victor Hovland. Tied for sixth with 13 under, Brian Harman and my pick of Dustin Johnson. Tied for eighth with 12 under, Bryson DeChambeau, Jordan Spieth, and Patrick Cantlay. Tied for 11th with 11 under, Abraham Ancer, Saddam Kawachagana, Dean Brewmeister, and Tyrrell Hatton. Tied for 15th with 10 under, Lucas Herbert, Francesco Molinari, Xander Schauffele, Siwoo Kim, Adam Scott, and Anthony Qualley. Tied for 21st with 9 under, Brett Horschel, Minwoo Lee, Shane Lowry, Kevin Kisner, Trey Molinak, Scotty Scheffler, Matt Fitzpatrick. Tied for 28th with 8 under, Corey Connors, Will Zalatoris, Tony Finau, Dylan Fratelli, Harold Varner III, and Thomas Peters. Tied for 34th with 7 under, Robert McIntyre, Lee Westwood, Vincent Perez, Aaron Weiss, Thomas Dietrich, Taylor Gooch, John Rahm, and Sahith Thiglia. Tied for 42nd with 6 under, Jason Kokrak, Chris Kirk, Adrian Murdoch, Sam Burns, and Tristan Lawrence. Tied for 47th with 5 under, Grayson Higo, Patrick Reed, Joo Hyung Kim, Filippo Selli, Jordan Smith, and Yuto Kusaragawa. Tied for 53rd with 4 under, Danny Willett, Brad Kennedy, Justin Thomas, Paul Casey, Nikolai Hojard, Joaquin Neiman, Jason Shrievener, Robert Dinwiddie, and Lars Van Meegel. Tied for 62nd with 3 under, Ian Poulter, Cam Triangle, Ryan Henley, John Parry, Sebastian Munoz, and David Carey. Tied for 68th with 2 under, Hideki Matsuyama, Sergio Garcia, Christian Ziedenhout, and Richard Mansell. Tied for 72nd with 1 under, Kurt Katayama and David Law. Tied for 74th at even, Justin De Los Santos and Marcus Armitage. Now notables, tied for 76th with 1 over, Wyndham Clark. Tied for 79th with 2 over, Barkley Brown. Tied for 81st with 4 over, Sanjay M. Among those cut, Webb Simpson, Brandon Wu, Colin Morikawa, Luis Olson, Keith Mitchell, Max Homa, JT Potson, Alexander Zork, Emiliano Grillo, Zach Johnson, Aaron Ray, Keegan Bradley, Brooks Koepka, Mackenzie Hughes, Kevin Na, Phil Mickelson, Luke List, Stuart Sink, Mito Pereira, Taylor Hogue, Gary Woodland, Mark Leishman, Sepp Straka, Tiger Woods, and that's really it among the notables. All right, NASCAR. We will go over the results from the weekend. We just had Xfinity and Cup from New Hampshire. Winning the Xfinity race at New Hampshire, Justin Allgaier. Coming in second, Trevor Bayne. Third, Brandon Brown. Fourth, Jeremy Clevens. Fifth, Sheldon Creed. Sixth, Ty Dillon. Seventh, Austin Hill. Eighth, Kyle Weatherman. Ninth, Mason Massey. 10th, Bailey Curry. The rest, David Starr, Joe Graff Jr., CJ McLaughlin, Brett Moffitt, Sam Meyer, Patrick Emmerling, Howie DeSavino III, Derek Griffith, Ryan Vargas, AJ Allmendinger, Ty Gibbs, Matt Mills, JJ Yeley, Josh Williams, Akinori Ogata, William Byron, Alex Labb, Brandon Jones, Anthony Alfredo, Riley Herbst, Josh Berry, Ryan Sieg, Jeb Burton, Myatt Snyder, Daniel Hemrick, Julia Landauer, Landon Castle, Noah Gregson. And the Cup Series it was the Foxwoods Resort Casino 301. And your winner, surprise winner, Christopher Bell. Wow, who would have thought that? Congratulations to him. Love to see somebody with long shot odds win. Coming in second, Chase Elliott. Third, Bubba Wallace. Fourth, Martin Truex Jr. Fifth, Kevin Harvick. Sixth, Denny Hamlin. Seventh, Brad Keselowski. Eighth, Ross Chastain. Ninth, Daniel Suarez. 10th, Kurt Busch. The rest, William Byron, Kyle Busch, Austin Cindric, Kyle Larson, who was my pick, Chase Briscoe, AJ Allmendinger, Chris Boucher, Ryan Blaney, Eric Jones, Justin Haley, Tyler Riddick, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Austin Dillon, Joey Logano, Todd Gilliland, Harrison Burton, Cole Custer, Michael McDowell, JJ Yeley, Cody Ware, Eric Almirola, Corey LaJoy, Ty Dillon, Josh Bleeky, Alec Bowman, BJ McLeod. All right, next weekend is Pocono, so that should be a really fun race out there. All right, now I'm going to give out my pick for the Home Run Derby, which is tonight, 8 o'clock on ESPN. Pete Alonso's a plus 185 favorite. Kyle Schwarber's plus 281. Soto 6-1. Ronald Acuna Jr. 750. Julio Rodriguez is 850. Corey Seager is 10-1. Jose Ramirez is 16-1. And Albert Pujols is 24-1. I usually like to pick a player that's playing in their home ballpark. That usually tends to go well. Pete Alonso is on a great run. He's won back-to-back. He's a deserving favorite. Kyle Schwarber's a deserving second favorite for being the one seed in this tournament. But similar to my theme of a player playing in the home ballpark, I'm going to go with the player playing in its former home ballpark, and that is Corey Seager at 10-1. I think he's going to be motivated to be hitting balls out of Los Angeles and reminding fans of the great player he is. So I'm going to lay a 1/10 of a unit for this bet at 10-1 for Corey Seager to win the Home Run Derby. Last but not least, news and notes. It's weird putting news and notes last, but that's only for today. Only because of no best bet. We're just going to go rapid fire here because of the order. The biggest story of the weekend was that the Washington Nationals offered the big contract extension for Juan Soto, and the Nationals $440 million. Soto turned it down, and now the Nationals will entertain trading Juan Soto. So that was the biggest story of the weekend by a mile. It's going to take a lot to get him. I'm going to have Julian Gilardi on the podcast tomorrow. I'm going to do what I did with James Sullivan with Kevin Durant, except I'm going to do it with Julian Gilardi with Juan Soto. He covers minor league baseball, so that he's the perfect person to have on for this exercise. So looking forward to that. So the early favorite in the Juan Soto sweepstakes is the San Diego Padres. as they want to pair him with Fernando Tatis Jr., which would be a really special combination. And a GM predicts that it'll be the biggest trade package ever, a Herschel Walker deal, somebody said. And then the New York teams, the Mets and the Yankees, will try for Soto. And they said it's going to be like Kevin Durant. The difference is that Juan Soto is so much younger than Kevin Durant. I think Juan Soto could be a bigger haul than Kevin Durant. And of course they say it's like Kevin Durant because that's all they're hearing right now in New York, meaning the Mets and the Yankees. And Kevin Durant was literally overshadowing baseball here in New York for a little bit. Major League Baseball settles minor league suit as they will pay $185 million to settle federal class action lawsuit by minor league players. So that was a story from the weekend. And not so great news for the Yankees. Luis Severino shut down 2 weeks due to a lat strain and is not expected to throw for 2 weeks. So, big loss for the Yankees. They've got to get a starter now with this injury. And more injury news. Chris Sale breaks his finger as he fractures his pinky after taking a liner to the hand. That's brutal for Boston. And also for Boston, Trevor Story to the 10-day injury list with a hand contusion. So not a great finish to the first half of the season for the Red Sox. And all it took for them to win the one single game was a wild pitch in Yankee Stadium. And Kevin Kiermaier placed on the 60-day injury list for Tampa Bay due to a hip injury. Could miss the rest of the year. That's a big loss for the Tampa Bay Rays. So the number one pick in the draft ended up being Jackson Holliday, as he was taken by the Orioles. And there was a picture going viral last night. Jackson Holliday is the son of former big leaguer Matt Holliday, who was on the 2007 Rockies team that made the World Series. And there's a picture of Matt with the Rockies from that year with his son. And it was a really iconic picture. And the weird thing was that last night, Tamar Johnson closed as a minus 330 favorite to be the first overall pick, and Brooks Lee was plus 250. I don't know what Jackson Holliday was. And I know Drew Jones was plus 170. There's so many odds moves. It was so weird. And speaking of number one overall pick, Spencer Torkelson was sent down to the minors, hitting 197 this season. That's brutal for Detroit. The Futures game was over the weekend, and winning the Future game MVP was Oakland Athletics catching prospect Shea Langoliers, as he hit a homer in that game. There was a viral Astros call out as Red Sox player Jarren Duran says what we all know with a little help from a fan. Something really cool happened in the Mets-Cubs doubleheader on Saturday. John Mulaney surprised fans at Wrigley Field and sang "Take Me Out to the Ball Game," which was awesome. The Cubs get awesome celebrities to do that. I remember they got Dan Shulman to do it one year on Sunday Night Baseball. They had been back like in 2014 when the Cubs were not good. Like before the Chris Bryant, Anthony Rizzo teams that were a contender there for years and won that iconic 2016 World Series. So that's something pretty cool. The Miami Marlins finishes a 7+ game homestand with 0 home runs for the first time in franchise history. So that's brutal. Some hockey news from the weekend. The Pittsburgh Penguins made some big moves, trading away John Marino to the New Jersey Devils for Ty Smith and a 2023 third-round pick. I like this package for Pittsburgh. I like Ty Smith. I think he's going to be a solid defenseman and slide right into their top 4. John Marino makes the Devils better now. And Jeff Petrie was traded to Pittsburgh, along with Ryan Poehling, in exchange for Mike Matheson and a draft pick. There's a lot of speculation here that the Penguins are going to go hard after JT Miller. We'll see about that. We missed the baseball thing. Austin Riley added to the All-Star team after his initial snub. So good for Austin Riley. Rangers signed forward Adam Sciorca, 3-year entry-level contract. He was their second-round pick. Some other news. Tiger had a moment at the Open as he tipped his hat to the crowd as he walked away from the 18th green to St. Andrews for perhaps the last time. It was really emotional. Ryan Garcia won the match over Javier Fortuna in a 6-round knockout. So that obviously happened this weekend. Robert Lewandowski to Barcelona. So that's really big soccer news right there. Jesse Bates ready to hold out as he has no intentions of reporting to camp or playing on the franchise tag. That's according to Josina Anderson. Vince Young says that Arch Manning will redshirt as Vince Young is hearing that the Longhorns' prized recruit will sit his first year. It's going to be good for him. Oof. I think that's a mistake, but who knows? It might be good for him. There is a young fan that tried to recruit Donovan Mitchell to the Knicks when he threw out the first pitch at a minor league game. I mean, of course, you're going to see that. There's a picture of Brittany Griner holding the All-Star photo as she held the picture of the WNBA All-Stars wearing her 42 jersey during Friday's hearing in Russian court. The Aces extend Kelsey Plum to a multi-year contract extension, so that's really good for Vegas, locking her up long-term. Damian Lillard didn't know the Blazers won the Summer League as he found out on Instagram Live. Joel Embiid was at a wedding over the weekend, and the video got viral as he was dancing the hora. That was really funny. Russell Westbrook parts ways with his agent, Thad Foucher, due to some differences about the status with the Lakers. And then it was reported by the LA Times that Russ never requested a trade as he hasn't acted out of Los Angeles despite comments from the former agent that suggested otherwise. Spurs extend Keldon Johnson 4 years, $80 million. That's an interesting contract extension for him. The Jazz are to hire Jason Terry to add to Will Hardy's staff in Utah. So that's really interesting. James Harden explained his pay cut. He says, sign whoever we need, give me whatever is left. So that's really selfless out of James Harden. Devontae Adams was back in the Madden 99 club as he earns rating for a second straight year, the first Raiders wide receiver in the club since Randy Moss in Madden 06. So that's a pretty big deal for Devontae Adams and the Raiders. The Texans settled 30 claims as the team reached a settlement with 30 women who said it enabled alleged sexual assault and misconduct by Deshaun Watson. This story isn't going to end, and this story may get uglier, and I won't be shocked if Watson is suspended the whole season, so we'll see about that. All right, so that's it for the show today. No best bet. I almost said the best bet intro, but I did not. So fun show today. We'll be back tomorrow recapping the Home Run Derby. We'll preview and pick the All-Star game. We'll go over the WNBA window for tomorrow night. I'll have a best bet. It'll be in the WNBA. And then, obviously, news and notes, and maybe we'll have an activity on tomorrow's show as well. Hope you guys have a great day, everyone.